Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. Wild West Dan here, and I'm a family-friendly charity content creator, and I've been raising money for Boston Children's Hospital through Extra Life for 7 years. I'm here to talk about how to Extra Life good. My favorite game is Minecraft. I'm currently building Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom to scale in survival Minecraft, because there's something wrong with my brain. Now, this video is designed to talk about some of the best practices you can use to raise money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital through Extra Life. So let's start with a simple question. What is Extra Life? Extra Life is a way for gamers to raise money for their local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. 100% of all proceeds from Extra Life stay local at one of the 170 CMN hospitals across the US and Canada. There are no rules telling you how you will game for Extra Life. It's just about playing games and using those games to raise money for kids. And it doesn't matter what you play. You could be playing a AAA title on your computer or console. You could be playing a tabletop RPG with friends. You could play cards by yourself or a mobile game on your couch. The only limit is your creativity and passion for raising money for our kids. Our first piece of advice is also the easiest and probably the most important. Edit your page. Your page at extra-life.org is the hub of everything you do. It's what potential donors will see when they're deciding if they're going to donate to you and your local hospital or not. So do everything you can to personalize your page to you and to your story. Make it meaningful. Let them know why you're raising money. For me, it's even more personal now than it was even just last year. I started raising money because I was born with emphysema and had part of my lung removed at Boston Children's Hospital less than a week after I was born. But at the end of last year, I became part of a patient family when my niece, Olivia Hope, was born 3 months early. So far, she's spent her entire life in the neonatal intensive care unit and has had multiple life-saving procedures. The good news is, it looks like she'll be moved to a rehab facility soon to prepare her to go home for the first time. The staff at her birth hospital and at Boston Children's have been incredible to her and our whole family. That's my story, and it's very personal. Okay, let's see what Extra Life can do to make our fundraising easier. Extra Life provides a ton of tools to help you raise money for your chosen hospital in the page settings section of your Extra Life campaign page. And now that we've personalized our campaign page, let's make it easier to send people the link to that page. The last thing you want to do when someone asks you how they can donate is give them a link with a random string of numbers at the end. You won't remember it, and neither will they. Simply click Customize and put your name or username at the end instead. One thing to remember though, each of our pages expires on December 31st, and we need to sign up again for next year's campaign. The trouble is, you can't reuse the previous URL for a few months, while last-minute donations are all being tallied and connected to your account by the Extra Life financial wizards. So set a calendar reminder for the end of December and change your URL to something unique. It can be as simple as adding the year to the end of your URL. Another option is to purchase a website domain for $10 to $15 a year and forward that to your page. Then you just have to update that one thing each year, and your friends, family, and community always know your link. Besides your web link, there are also tools to help you when you're on the go, like the Donor Drive app. This app is packed with all kinds of things to help you. It's as good as your own page when you're on the go for game night or at a convention. You can update your story, thank donors, create a QR code to send people to your campaign page, and more. You can even create your own business cards or signs with the QR code or your link on them and carry it around with you wherever you go. Okay. We know that making a donation to any cause is a burden on someone, so we want to offer them something in return. It doesn't have to be anything huge or expensive, but just something fun. Some people during their game day marathon will slap a sticker on their face or body for every donor. They can look quite ridiculous by the end of it, and people love it when you look ridiculous. Similarly, you can get some temporary tattoos and put them all over you when you get a donation, or blow up balloons and write the donors' names on it. If you're streaming or making videos, put a list of names at the end to say thank you. The possibilities you can come up with are unlimited, but they make a huge difference. For example, as I said, I'm a Minecrafter, and in my Minecraft world, I have what I call my Hall of Angels, right here below the CMN balloon. Last year, I started placing a marker for each person who donates any amount to my campaign on the wall in this hallway. If they have a Java account, I use their skin. Otherwise, I use a default head or an anonymous creeper head. And this is available for any regular in my community to visit on their own and walk down the hallway and see all these names. But you can also tie things to specific donation amounts back in your page settings by setting up incentives. Incentives are mini rewards for individual donation amounts. Mine are all event related for a gaming weather balloon thing I'm going to talk about later. Some people will do things like eat a bad tasting jelly bean or something spicy for $5, or maybe a cup of ranch ice cream for $25, or even potentially something that doesn't involve food. Extra Life even offers interactive incentives for streamers through Dixper integration that can make fun things happen during your gameplay, like stealing your mouse or making you jump over and over. Similar to incentives are milestones. But unlike incentives, milestones are celebrations, giveaways, or other actions based on the total amount that you've raised during this year's campaign. It's usually bigger things than what you do for incentives, like shaving your head or dyeing your hair, getting a tattoo, or something less drastic, like a pie in the face, or just a celebration of how much you've raised. Like any reward or incentive, the limit is only your imagination. And the more fun ideas for rewarding and celebrating with your donors that you can come up with, the better. The sky is the limit. Speaking of which, here's my example. In June, I'm going to be doing my first annual high-altitude dice roll for Boston Children's Hospital. It's this crazy idea I had to take an Extra Life branded D20 die and launch it into the atmosphere underneath a weather balloon. It'll travel 15 to 20 miles up where the balloon will pop, and we'll use some radio equipment and GPS stuff that I don't really understand to follow it on its parachute flight back down to Earth. And wherever it lands, once we get it out of the tree it's probably stuck in, will count as a real roll in my TTRPG game. As an incentive for donors being a part of this, for varying donation amounts, they can send their name, pictures, videos, and messages of hope, named in honor of my niece, on a USB drive with the D20. I'm also sending every donor a personalized virtual ticket as a commemorative reminder of their generosity. It's a simple, free, and unusual way of thanking each donor, but it's been a ton of fun for the whole community so far. Here's what the setup looks like now, with the D20 on the end of the pole on the left. There's a camera on the left side inside, and a battery on the right. And plenty of brightly colored tape so we can find it later. So, any rewards, events, challenges, large or small, that you can come up with to encourage people to donate towards your local children's hospital will really make a huge difference. Okay, let's shift from general best practices to advice for streamers and video creators. First of all, I want to stress that streaming and video creation are completely optional. As we've talked about before, the only rule for Extra Life is playing games, not necessarily doing it publicly. But if you are streaming, whether it's just for Extra Life events like Game Day or Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, or if you stream regularly and want to raise money during all your streams, here are some things that might help. The first tip is embed your stream in your Extra Life page. Simply click the checkbox, select Twitch or YouTube, and put in your channel name. This lets donors see the good you're doing and watch you play games to raise money live on your stream right from your Extra Life page. Now let's talk about getting donors to your page. For your online community, it's even more important than ever to put your page link absolutely everywhere you can think of. If you're on Twitch, edit your panels below your stream video. On my page, I have links to my story, my balloon launch event, my page link, and I even have a reminder in my stream title. On YouTube, put it in your About Me and in your video descriptions, and add it to all your social media bios. Make it a pin tweet, anywhere you can put it. But streamers also have an even more valuable resource to get your link and your story out there: your chat. Chatbots are plentiful and almost a necessity for streamers. Chances are if you stream now, you already have one. I use Mixitup. I'm a Mixitup ambassador, but Pixel Chat, Stream Elements, or Nightbot and others are also good options. All are either free or have free tiers that'll probably do what you need. First, set up a timer to remind viewers every few minutes that you're raising money, or that you have an upcoming event. Also, set up a command like !extra life or !EL for you or your mods to post when Extra Life comes up in conversation. And then connect your bot to the Extra Life website to automatically thank your donors when they make a donation. But also remember to thank them out loud as soon as you get a donation. The kids at your local hospital will never be able to thank them directly. They might not even know, but you can. And the more sincere that you are, the more they'll feel like they made a difference. Also, if you're more programmatically minded, Extra Life has its own API that you can connect into any script or program you might want to create for yourself or the rest of the Extra Life community. Now let's talk about what's on screen during your streams. Extra Life provides a ton of resources right from the website for you. Everything from instruction manuals, FAQs, to streaming tools like overlays, talking points, logos, and more. The Broadcaster Toolkit has a ton of great resources to get you started. But right from your page settings, you can get a link for an interactive bar specifically for your campaign that only requires you to copy and paste it as a browser source into OBS or whatever streaming software you're using. It includes the current total, your goal, your latest donors, your top donor, and it updates live right from the Extra Life website without any settings from you. For my full camera scene, I use that bar along the bottom of my screen, and then I add a border from the media kit behind it. Finally, I put all my custom graphics and my camera behind that. Now, I've also created my own Wild West branded total tracker that can go in a corner of my streams using a combination of the API, my bot, and some text files that OBS can read from. And every few minutes, it automatically switches to show how close we are to my next milestone. I find it's much easier to look at that and say, look how close we are to that milestone, less than $200. And people will think to themselves, I could add another $25 or $50 towards that. That's a little easier than looking at my total, thinking we're barely over 10% of our final goal. But it's early in the year, so I'm not worried about that yet. Of course, if you're streaming, you need to get as many people watching you as possible. You need to find a way to stand out. I use a funny hat and jacket to add to my overall theme. My cat Lily also often makes an appearance, and the internet loves cats. Sometimes I think if I just put the camera on her and I wasn't even there, people would still watch and donate just to fill her up with treats. But if you stand out, they'll notice you. For other general stream advice, try to come up with a consistent schedule so your core community can plan to be there as often as life allows it. Be yourself and do the things that are fun for you. Play the games you enjoy. Don't chase trends if they don't make you happy. If you're being false, people can tell and they won't stick around. Make meaningful connections with your viewers. They're people and they want to care about you as much as you want to feel you can care about them. Network, but carefully. Make connections with other streamers, but don't just go into a channel and talk about your streams and how great they are. That's like going to a concert and telling everyone that you're playing across the street and they should leave and go listen to you instead. There's a fine line between networking and self-promotion. And self-promotion is bad. The streamers that you want to spend time with will ask you about your streams and encourage you to talk about them, and they'll visit your community as well. Luck out. A large percentage of growth is the right people finding you at the right moment and deciding to stick around. It's not always about how good you are. I know a lot of streamers that have streamed for 0 to 3 viewers for months or years before they built up a core community. It's hard to keep up a positive attitude and talk to an empty chat for a long time. But don't give up. If you're having fun and you can ignore the fact that there aren't as many people there as you want, then your community will come eventually. Lastly, think about them as your community, not as viewers or numbers. They're friends first. They just don't know you yet. They're not just a number on the screen. It's a small distinction, but it makes a huge difference in how you interact with people in chat. Okay, here are my final thoughts. We've talked a lot about creative ways to convince people to donate money to your campaign. But here are some less creative, although really simple ways. First, ask for money. I get at least a third of my donations by simply emailing my extended family and my friends directly. Send them a letter, explain that you're raising money and why, and send them your link. This can be super uncomfortable, and not everyone will want to do it. But if you have another way of making it more personal to those that are closest to you, they'll see that it's important to you, and they'll want to help out if they can. Also, I'm terrible at this, but use Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or some other social media platform that you're already on with your friends, your family, and your community. And remember, your main social network that you use might not be the one that will get you the most donations. Yes, I am saying that you might have to use Facebook. I'm sorry. Another potentially easy donation source is the company you work for. Check with your employer. They may have a donor match program that can double the impact of your personal donations at no more cost to you. Some companies may also offer paid time off, specifically for charitable causes, and you can get paid to take the day off, play games, and raise money all at the same time. Sure sounds like a winning combination to me. And if they don't do anything like that, you might want to start a company extra life team with your coworkers, or simply play games with them and use those games to raise money as well. The very last thing I want to say is Extra Life is a community. We all help each other in any way we can, so you're not doing this alone. If you're in the Boston area, join the Boston Guild Discord or Facebook group. You can meet our hospital rep, work with others in the area, recruit new Extra Lifers at local conventions, and just hang out and play games together with the Guild. And anyone can and should join the National Discord, where you can find info on your local hospital or guild and chat, plan, and help Extra Lifers from all over. It's a great group. And if Discord isn't your thing, the Extra Life email support team at support@extra-life.org are truly amazing. They will go above and beyond to help you in any way they can. I email them so often, sometimes I worry they'll get sick of me, but they just keep being more awesome. If you're posting on social media, make sure to tag @ExtraLife4Kids on almost any platform and use the hashtags #ChangeKidsHealth and Change the Future. On a personal note, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for raising money through Extra Life for whatever hospital you choose. I know what it's like to be on both sides of the Extra Life family. As a former patient and a current patient family member, I know that no one ever wants to be in a children's hospital. But I've seen firsthand what kind of difference we make for these kids and for their families. Thank you, and good luck.